Um, I want to first recognize some of the faces that I brought with me today. They are leaders in our community that we've lost over the last 10 years. First, Annie Brown, who is in the top left corner. She was one of the very first people to start collecting names at Blues Creek and asking what was happening. She was able to see that her neighbors all down the streets, every one of them had different health impacts. And we lost her, unfortunately, about 6 months after the Dan River spill. She had a massive heart attack on September 28, 2014. And so that was a tremendous loss for our community. She went to Eden to testify in March after the Dan River spill with Reverend Barber as part of their early Moral Mondays. And while she was there, Yara wrote a song, and that was based on her story. Somebody's hurting my brother, and it's gone on far too long. And that song has been sung around the world, even in the Vatican. Huh? Oh, that was the first Moral Monday. Wow. Okay. And also I want to recognize Danielle Bailey Lash. She was my one of my very best friends in middle school in Walnut Cove, and she was really who brought attention to me of what was going on in Stokes County at Blues Creek. She developed a brain tumor at 35, so that was in 2010. So I really, at that time, started asking what was in the water. I knew about Duke Energy because my uncle worked for Duke Energy, and it was the only thing in Walnut Cove. And so it just unfolded a huge journey that evolved with ACT's development and, well, with the Dan River spill. So we were actually meeting at Blues Creek, thanks to App Voices, for about a year before the spill. And I remember we all were looking at Amy Adams like, well, how are we going to clean this up? And she's just like, I don't know. we didn't have a law. So when the Dan River spill happened, everybody came to our meeting. Suddenly, everybody knew what coal ash was, and so it was just such a powerful moment that we all worked together, galvanized together, and then the development of ACT. We had our first meeting at Pine Hall in the little community center. Were you there for that? And so it was, there has been a lot of joy in the midst of all of this really, really challenging endeavor. Aged me quite a bit, y'all can tell from my hair. But and then finally this last year we lost David Hairston, who was such an important member of our community, and we often referred to him as the David fighting Goliath, literally. And there's been multiple videos about him, and he had a massive heart attack and died in July. And Duke Energy, the Winston-Salem Journal had a special obituary for him on Tuesday. On Wednesday, they announced they had started the excavation, and in the very last paragraph, they announced they wanted to do nuclear. And then the day of his funeral, they had a huge rollout of their nuclear plan at Blues Creek. So the fight continues, and I'm so grateful for Bobby Jones for organizing this today as we move forward and really push the Utilities Commission. For years we've all said that the weather was going to change our lives, and we all thought that was going to happen in 2050, but it happened in 2023, and it's happening in 2024. And what were 1,000-year events are now weekly and daily events. And the Utilities Commission officers, they all have children too, and we have to do better for our families. So I'm just grateful that we're all here, that we've rekindled this spirit, and that we will move forward this spring and really try to enact some change here in North Carolina. Nick, would you like to speak?
Oh, sure.